Okay, so I am super excited to be talking about this. The Dune Imperium Deluxe upgrade set showed up this week. My wife got it for me as a gift, a birthday gift over the summer. It finally showed up. It was supposed to come with a promo card for an additional Duncan Idaho card. Mine did not have it in the packaging, but I have been in contact with Direwolf Games, and they're going to send me another one. So that'll be taken care of. They were super responsive on that, and I don't expect there'll be any problem with it. But that aside, what this is a larger box to contain all the bits and pieces from the Dune Imperium base game, along with the Rise of Ix expansion that's coming out soon. But more importantly, it contains a bunch of minis and other upgrades that really kind of, dare I say, spice up the game a bit. Whereas the base game has cubes and wooden cubes and little wooden tokens and stuff to represent troops and that sort of thing. This actually has little miniatures for it, and they look really good. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and open this up. Now this has already been combined. I already took all my Dune Imperium base game and put it in here. So everything is all contained in here already, but I wanted to have it boxed so you could see how it all is stored in here. So let me set my camera down here and try to aim it properly so I can have my hands free. And Miss Harley here will watch as we work. So here we go. Just gonna get this set up here. Put that over here. What's a better angle for it? Here. This will work for now. So, go ahead and take the cover off. There we go. And of course, there's room in there for the rules and everything. The really nice thing about this is that once you get the rules out of the way, the board, as you can see, is now contained nicely on this little plastic insert here with these edges, so you don't have to worry about that, either keeping those 4 little foam inserts that were with the base game, or just having the game board float around randomly in there, because the board is slightly smaller when folded up than the box itself, which is an odd choice, but okay. So now it fits in there very snugly. It doesn't go anywhere, and once the lid is on, it's completely snug. So we'll take the board out, move that over here. So now you can see the meat of this. There's a bunch of minis. I'll go through all of them here in a minute, but there are miniatures for all the agents for each house. There are minis for all the troops. That's the colored minis there. And they all have different sculpts on them too, which is a nice touch. They could have gone cheap and kept the same sculpts for all the soldiers, because it would have been easy to just have the same sculpts, just blue, green, yellow, and red of the same thing, but they didn't. They all have different sculpts, and I'll show them here in a minute. And then you have minis for the Mentat, and then the 4 additional groups that you gain influence with as the game goes on. So I'll go through each one of those components in turn here. So I'll take this out. I'll get back to that in a minute. Then you have the inner part here where you have room for all the cards. And what's really nice is they have this molded emblem, which is the same as the sandworm token, which is the first player token. I'll show that again, but it's very nice because it kind of gives a nice little extra bit of bling to it, which is clever. So this holds the cards. Put that there. I have to set this down to get my hand free here so I can pop this top. There we go. So the cards are all here. I need to get little sleeves for these, but there's a place for all the cards. You got a place for all the conflict cards and for the treachery cards, and then all the actual cards themselves for the game. And then these are my House of Gaul cards. These are sleeved with clear sleeves, mainly because they're different on the back, but also I don't really use these because I use the app when I'm doing single or 2-player games. I don't use the cards, I use the app, which I think is a lot better. I did get the option, or my wife I should say got the option with the to add the card sleeves. So I have the card sleeves here, but you notice there's a whole bunch of extras. I'm hoping that'll cover all the ones for Rise of Ix, because I did sleeve all these already. And these are all sleeved up already with the sleeves. It's very, very nice, very, very good looking sleeves here. But that was an add-on. Those are not included by default with the set. So, move those out of the way. The really nice thing is, back in the box here, take that lid off with my finger. That was nice. Knocked it right off. The really nice thing is, there is also a separate place for the starter cards, right here. So each set of 10 cards, each set of 10 starter cards goes right in their own little cubby here. So it's very easily organized from the start. You don't have to sort them out from the base cards. They already have their own place. Now I did keep some of the wooden tokens. I prefer to use the wooden cubes for the tracks, for the influence for each one, and then the round ones are for the score chart and the what was it, the Landsraad Council space? High Council space. So I'm keeping those. There wasn't really a replacement for the round tokens anyway. I'm not sure, honestly, if you're supposed to use the cubes continuously or if you're supposed to switch over to using the miniatures for those spaces, but the cubes make more sense to me, so that's what I'm doing personally. And then there's the room right here for the Baron's extra tokens here to show who he has special traitorous abilities with. So a place for everything and everything in its place. And then right over here we have a card holder for the actual faction cards themselves. Nothing real special about that, but it's nice that it has this little raised area here, so you can just lift these right out. You don't have to dig at them with your fingernail or anything. They're sitting elevated, which is very nice. You don't have to pry anything out to get to them, and yet the lid holds it on very snugly. So that's very nice. And then this is for the tokens. I will say I did upgrade my tokens personally, so I still use the same little white tokens for the Solari. But I added, I replaced my water tokens with blue stones, and the spice tokens with little orange stones, just because it looks better. Again, that's not part of this. This set does not include different tokens. Those were mine that I already had in the game prior to purchasing the upgrade set. Put that back, get that out of the way. And now back to the miniatures here. So let's get into these. So pop the top here. There we go. So each one of these miniatures, let me slide this back a little bit so I can get down here a little closer to this. Each one of these is a really nice sculpt, and we intend to paint them. So let's see if I can get this to zoom in a little bit and get more detail on them. There we go. See them a little better. But really good detail on the minis here. So that's the Mentat. And this is the Emperor faction marker. So this replaces that round token that is the victory point token that you take as you move up the tracker. And instead you get these super cool Sardaukar, the little group of 3 Sardaukar. Which is really nice. I like the look of them. It's a very, very cool little miniature there. And then the Spacing Guild, simply enough, just has a nice highliner, just a guild highliner. So that's pretty cool. And in case you don't know which faction the thing is part of, you see on there that they do have the faction logo on the base, along with the victory point symbol as well, right there. And then, of course, the Bene Gesserit has Reverend Mother Mohayam herself with the box, the Test of Humanity, in her chair, with her face hidden completely. Of course, it was like a veil, like a meshy veil in the movie, which you can still see there's mesh to it, but obviously there's no detail underneath it. But really, really nice sculpts. These are good, heavy for their size. Nice chunky minis. So these are really good. And then the last one is the Fremen, and I'm assuming that's generic Fremen, but it's pretty much Stilgar as far as I'm concerned on that. But there you can see the emblem on the base too. But the sand, he's on the sand, and he's got his cloak, his Jubba cloak, and his still suit and all that. But and these are good size minis. I mean, these are your average Fantasy Flight board game size minis. These are really good. They would be the same size as your Descent or Imperial Assault or something like that. Star Wars Legion, that kind of thing. And then the agents, I'll get to the soldiers in a minute. The agents are 3 of a kind each, but they're all different sculpts. So the agents, they don't really have a specific faction. You can use whichever one you want. But they do kind of fit more. Some fit other factions, more than others, obviously. So you've got this kind of soldier here, which looks, I'm thinking more Harkonnen. This one personally looks more like a Harkonnen soldier to me. You've got and these are all groups of 3, as I said, so there's 3 of those soldiers for the agents, and then you've got 3 of these, which pretty much looks like a Mentat. I'm not sure who that would be. Probably Richesse, House Richesse, but again, anybody can use it. And then this one definitely looks very Fremen. So, I mean, by default, you'd kind of think, House Atreides for this one. But again, it can be whatever. And then this one, it's kind of a Bene Gesserit weirding fighting style, type rather than the Reverend Mother type. She looks more ready for combat. But again, there's no Bene Gesserit faction in the game, so player faction anyway. So again, this just represents a house, but it could be whoever you want. But yeah. And then, of course, as I said, there's the coin, which is the first player token, which replaces the little cardboard token that was in there in the base game. And it just resembles that sculpture on the wall in the Atreides palace in the film. And it's the same on both sides. It's a nice, heavy, brass-feeling coin. It's got some good weight to it, so that's a very nice upgrade. And then the soldiers. So first of all, let me go back to the agents for a second. So each one of the factions comes with a colored ring, 3 of them each. So let's kind of set them here. Sorry, my soldiers hung up on the ring here. Let go. There you go. And the red one. So each one of these, this is how you differentiate which faction is which. You don't have to remember the sculpt. You just get your mini, and you say, okay, so these soldiers are Harkonnen, and I'm going to play red, and I'm going to play Harkonnen, so I'm going to snap that in. So he just becomes a red agent. And then if you're going to use this Mentat fellow here, make him blue, you just snap him into the blue, and there he is, and you can pop him back out later. And, change the color and make it whatever you want. So if you want this guy to be red next time, you can do that. So that's what those are for. Now, the soldiers for each one, very nice. I'm trying to get in the shot here without zooming in on something else. There we go. It's really hard, but they've got a really good, really nice sculpt. They're about the size of, maybe a little bigger than Risk miniatures, for sets that had miniatures. But they each have their own individual sculpt. I'm trying to get it to zoom in here. I can only do so much with it, but it's a really nice sculpt. Let's see if I can get it on the table. I don't know if I can. Yeah, it's not really making much of a difference if I lay it flat. Let's see. That's a little better. Let me turn off my spare light here. Let's see. There might be too much light on it. That helped a little bit. But anyway, you can see that he has a sword in his left hand. And then the green one, we'll put him here. Also has a sword in the left hand, but it's a different sculpt. So they look different. They're not the same soldiers. And then the blue one is nice. He has 2 short swords, or 2 knives, 2 daggers. And then the red, which is kind of, I'm assuming by default, kind of assumed to be the Harkonnen, would be here. And they definitely look more like the Harkonnen troops in the movie. More aggressive looking and that sort of thing. But yeah, those replace all the little cubes in the base game. So that being said, that's what they all are. Now you can see, if I set the board up here real quick, that these, get the board out here. There we go. It's hard to do this one-handed. Oh no, Miss Harley's going to come visit us. Hi, Harley. There we go. There we go. Okay, so anyway, the board, and there's Harley. Hello. So the board's the same, obviously, but now, when you have your agent and you have him marked with the red, you send it to a location. It just looks better than a little wooden meeple, when you have different looking minis at each location. It just pops. The game just pops more, and it has more theming to it, more life to it. It just has an overall real big budget feel to the game, like the movie, and less of a Euro game flavor to it. Even though it's just a worker placement game mixed with some deck building elements, it feels more thematic with these minis in here. And then, of course, as I said, you add in the other minis here, so put them where they belong. So these would sit in their specific locations here. Oh, there we go. And then the Mentat, who's now stuck in the box, will go right here. So now you can see with all these, thank you, Harley. We don't need your help, honey. Thank you. With all these on the board, it just looks really nice. Now, of course, once these are painted, they'll look even better. But just seeing these over here as opposed to the wooden tokens is just a real nice upgrade, in my opinion. So I'm really looking forward to playing with it. The game is already tremendous, but I think this will kind of really take it to the next level as far as just table presence. But if you have any questions or comments or anything, let me know. If you've played the game, let me know what you think of it. If you've gotten the Deluxe upgrade set, let me know what you think of it. And if you got the Deluxe upgrade set, let me know if you got your Duncan Idaho card, or if you had problems getting yours too. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you again soon.